Yeah, these things feel good.
Well, official welcome. So we're gonna hang out today, talk about guitars and stuff. You heard your wrist punching the bag.
Yeah, of course. Right when I'm gonna hang out and do some cool guitar stuff, I end up like kind of messing my hand up. It's really stiff right now. And I didn't notice it after it happened. And then I was walking outside today and I like really couldn't like make a closed fist.
Oh.
And I was just like, oh man. I used to hit the bag all the time when I was a kid. And I stopped because I'm like, oh, I'm playing guitar now. I don't want to mess anything up. And then since like this whole COVID thing happened, all of those like old like protective habits have like gone away. And I'm like, I'm going to start hitting the bag again. And then of course, as soon as I do, I hit it incorrectly and it sucks.
Okay, so we're going to talk about guitar. We're going to mess around with some guitars, but we're not going to start shredding and putting our wrists in a funny position and start going like this.
Yeah. I think I can hold a guitar.
You can hold a guitar, yeah. Okay. Cool. So what are you doing now? You working on some music?
We are working on a new Periphery album, and we've had a couple sessions already, and we're just kind of like in a bit of a holding pattern while our singer Spencer works on some vocals. And me and Misha figured, well, you know, since we're not doing a whole lot, maybe you can come over and we'll just hang out and we'll see like what kind of music we can get going. And we have a side project called 4 Seconds Ago, which is kind of like an all electronic sort of more melodic. It's like electronic music made by metal guys. We've worked on that a little bit too, but he's been showing me his car world, and like we've been doing a lot of like car related stuff, and that's been a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot about it and getting into it, and we've just been it's a little bit of a vacation for me because I'm from Jersey. Mm-hmm. And it's winter there. It's really cold, so this is such a reprieve from.
It's insane. It's like a heat wave now.
It's amazing.
Have you been driving the McLaren or stuff like that?
I haven't driven the McLaren yet. I've driven the GT3, and I'm actually driving the BMW SUV right now. So
is that Misha's BMW?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me borrow it to come to your house.
Nice.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, what a nice guy. Yeah, I had Misha here. I've seen him quite often, and we've driven cars together. So
yeah, you're a car guy too.
Yeah, I'm a car guy. Not as I don't know, maybe more extreme, but not as extreme as them in terms of like the speed they're going at in those cars.
Yeah,
I have like a slower, older car. Kind of vintage now. Funny enough, people say it's vintage. I feel old having that. Have I had that car that long? Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm a slow driver too.
Yeah. I'm getting slower and slower. You know. They tell me, and then Misha was laughing at me. You had a kid, you're a second slower. Every kid is a second slower. Feeling old, man.
That's funny.
One thing I love about Periphery is you guys pretty much play music for love only right now, that you guys have like changed the way you do things from, when we first started a band, you feel like you love music, then you're in the hamster wheel, and now you guys got out of it. Can you tell me a bit more about it?
It's kind of interesting, our perspective, because we're kind of in control of everything that we do. We have our own record label now. We're 6 or 7 albums deep, and we kind of just like know how the machine works pretty intimately. So we do it because we love just writing music together, and we know that it works, and we know that we have chemistry, and we're all friends first, and then like the music just kind of comes out of the fact that we're like buddies. So it's really the real reason that we do this is because we like spending time with each other. And I wouldn't say it's like, we're trying to become like a big band or anything. Like I think a lot of us aren't even quite aware of like what is going on outside of the circle of the band in terms of like, we don't really know how big we are. We don't pay attention to things like that. We just write music, and if people like it, that's awesome. But usually we're just in a room trying to carve something or sculpt something that makes us feel a certain way, and that's really like the most important part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how many years I've been doing it. Like I guess 20 years, and I feel like, man, being in a band and still be friends is kind of a difficult thing, right?
Can be, yeah.
It's like, because the business always, I think it's the ugliest side of music, is that we can do without, but if you don't understand it, it will screw you in the end.
Yeah. And it can pit the members against each other, because like I think everybody, or at least from my perspective, most people want the best intentions, but they all have a different idea on like how to go about it. And Periphery really isn't any different. In the beginning, there's a lot of bickering, there was a lot of like really like petty stuff going on, and it's kind of a miracle that things have gotten stronger rather than weaker. And just like with any band or with any family or any relationship, you have these moments where things aren't great, but we kind of look at Periphery as like this bigger thing than any of us, because it really is the center of everything we do. Everybody has some sort of like outside endeavor or side hustle, or we have like signature gear that we push and stuff like that, and none of that would be possible if it wasn't for our ability to kind of see Periphery as like the nucleus of this stuff. It's really important for us to respect each other, treat each other with respect, and that really keeps that strong. So that's why it's so important to us. So
I want to know something about you and guitars, actually, because I guess we assume we both have a bunch of Ibanez. And, you're signature artist of Ibanez. I've been for a while. How long have you been a signature artist of Ibanez now?
I've been signed to Ibanez since 2010, and I think I got my first signature in 2013. So probably like 10 years, something like that. 9-10 years. But the thing is like I got my first Ibanez in like 96, and it's always been kind of like the guitar I go to. I've messed around with other things in between 96 and 2010, but I actually got the deal when we were playing in LA, and we were playing at the Whiskey, and Mike Taft came to the show, and he spoke to us about stuff, and that's how I got hooked up with them in the first place. So
were you playing an Ibanez at that time with the band?
I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I was. I was using Comparison for a little while, but I'm not sure if that was at that show. I can't remember. A long time ago.
Oh wow. Yeah, I have a Comparison here, the Horus with the 27 frets.
Oh, I love that guitar. That's a great guitar. I had an Apple horn, like the Matthias Eklund one. Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah.
It is a cool guitar. It's very, how to say, Japanese build guitar. You play it and you know what, this is made in Japan.
It has a feel,
It has a feel, right? The way the Japanese make the guitar and build the guitar, and the neck shape, the way they approach it, and how it's done, it feels, it's a Japanese guitar. Yeah.
Especially the Fujigen ones, they just have this kind of like the finish to them is just everything, whether it's the fretwork or like the way that the neck feels, the way that the neck is sanded, and it's just like it's very exact.
Did you have any other endorsement that you thought you were gonna go with, like any other brands? Or were you kind of like, I like Ibanez, I'm just gonna do that?
I was talking to other people, but I can't remember who exactly. I think I was talking to Ernie Ball, our Music Man, and one other company, but I can't remember the name of them. But I always had my heart set on Ibanez. That was just kind of just because of that one guitar that I got in '96. It just kind of was like the thing that I measured all guitars against. It was just a regular RG 550, but it just had a vibe,
Cool. Yeah, actually, I have like all the Genesis here. Those RG 550 Genesis.
Oh, right on, dude.
Yeah. I got one I've been messing around with. This one got some Fulhams pickups in it.
This is the same finish as the RG 550.
Is that the one you had?
Yeah. It had a mirror pick guard, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's the same finish. I love that color.
They're pretty cool, but you think about it now, it's really old school, right? Because this neck joint is like it's not as good as the All Access.
Right.
There's so many guitars here. I think, well, you wouldn't really make it that way anymore if you were to start, with a clean state. Some stuff here which I always wanted when I was a kid, like the Jam, the Chrome 30th anniversary stuff.
When I was a kid, I used to get like the ultimate guitar buyer's guide, and whenever I'd turn the page to that thing, I'd be like, oh my god, it looks so cool, and then I'd just like look at the price, and I'm just like, I will never own this.
No,
yeah.
I thought the same thing. I would never own a guitar which costs more than $1,000 something. I thought never in hell would I spend that much money on a guitar.
Yeah. And now it's like, now that we're adults, we like figure out ways to justify the purchases, like I'll be like, what, I got a keyboard in the closet I can get rid of, and that'll give me some money that I can put towards this other thing. And that's how I do it, man. And it's an obsession. It's addictive. And I see that you're probably the same way with this massive collection.
Yeah, this is actually a quarter of my collection. So my main collection is actually back in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think only 2 guitars made it here. One I bought used for like $500 off some guy in the bar. But yeah, these are like the new collection, I guess. And then I didn't bring anything from England unless I was playing a tour. Like I would bring a guitar to play, but otherwise everything just left in London now.
Oh, wow.
It's like all my main old guitars, the one I had when I was like, I don't know, 17, 18, something like that.
Is there anything over there that you're just like bummed out that is like kind of like there and you want to bring it over, or is it just...
I don't care about it. Kind of moved on from it. When I did my signature guitar of Ibanez, that was in 2000, and the design was in 2007. We finished it and released it in 2008. It's a long time ago to have a guitar for me that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Now that I do the Twitch thing and I do a lot of jams, improvised stuff, playing from smooth jazz to blues to rock, I actually need a different guitar now. It's great for DragonForce stuff, but it doesn't work for me to doing live stream as much if I'm going to play something soft.
Yeah.
So I got like I got, what do I have, a Silver Sky here.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah, have you played one of these things? I'm like a tone guy now. You
Yeah,
know,
let me see. My bandmate Mark has one of these, I think.
Yeah. I'm like they call it tone guy, I always say, because, you know, if you're playing a Strat, sorry, Paul, I'm gonna call it a Strat.
Yeah, these things feel good. That's pretty cool. What color is this? Is this silver?
It's the pink.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a champagne sort of.
Metallic pink kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah.
Hey, chat, you guys can probably, there's Cradle of Filth karaoke next door in this house. So it's like always the same. It's always the same. How many guitars you got now these days? You kept most of the guitars?
I've tried to give a lot of them away because I'm still doing apartment living and I just have no room for this stuff. So like I have some buddies that I'm just like, they'll come over and we'll be, you know, playing around with guitars and stuff, and I'll just be like, why don't you just take that one? And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, just take it. And they think I'm like being nice, but I'm really just being selfish because I want it out of my house. So.
Yeah, just loan this guitar, play it, so it sounds even better when you give it back to me. Because guitars don't sound good if they don't get played.
Yeah. I want people to, you know, love them the way that I do. And like the other thing is like, you know, the only stipulation I have is like, if I need to borrow a guitar, just let me borrow it. You know, like that's it. But yeah, I just, let's see. I think I probably have like 20 something in the house right now in various like cases stacked up, but I keep out probably like 5 or 6 in the different tunings that we use and some other tunings that I mess around with for my solo project, and so not too many.
Still quite a lot for someone who's getting rid of them to friends. Like, oh, you keep this one for a while.
Yeah, I feel very grateful for the people that have like worked for Periphery or who have like supported me, and like I feel like for me the gesture of just like giving them something like that is very symbolic, because it's like, look, like I may have been the one that like earned this, but you're the one that helped, so like take this. So that's kind of my philosophy. So, and it helps me make some room in my closet. So.
I know what, I don't have any guitar cases here. I think I got 2 in the garage. I just threw them all in the band storage.
I have all the hard shells in the band storage, and our sound guy Alex Marquides, he's like, what do you want me to do with all of these? They're literally from floor to ceiling. And I'm like, sell them and you can keep the money, because it's just like they take up so much space, and I'd rather have the guitars out than just sitting in a case, because I'll never use them if they're just sitting in the case. Now they're all gone. I'm like you, I have just a couple of hard shells. Yeah,
I use soft bags even on tour these days.
Yeah.
Like, you know what, it's a pain in the ass having all these cases around.
Yeah, it really is. It's fine if you have 1 or 2 guitars, but I'm a gig bag guy too.
Yeah, unless you're gonna have to vote. I got a vote thing, the guitar votes.
Yeah.
For the tour, you just shove them in and close it up like a closet.
But that's the best thing, yeah. The guy I was just talking about, Alex Marquides, he also built us these custom vaults. But normally, like when you see, it might be one that you have, like just like a normal road case where you can put like, 12 guitars, but he made like a scaled down 6 guitar size one of those, and they're very like stealth. They're very compact. So we use one of those, and it's a lifesaver, because just dealing with cases and all that stuff is just such a bummer. And we don't really play places a lot of the time that can accommodate one of those really big normal road case vaults. So this thing can fit in clubs and everything like that too. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's a very handy guy. Like he builds everything. Makes cutting boards now. It's like great dude.
So I'm gonna ask you a really boring question. What have you been doing during this pandemic to keep yourself entertained?
Oh my God, keep myself from going insane. I think there's been a lot of video gaming, like, you know, world record setting sessions, just sitting in a chair, wondering when I'm going to be able to go outside again. That was at the beginning. And then once I realized that this thing was here to stay, I was like, wow, maybe I should make some music or something, you know, kind of pass the time. Because when it happened, I was really bummed out. I was like in no mental place emotionally to write music. I felt like the world had ended, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to. No one did. No one knew if, like, you know, how long it was going to last, or, you know, everybody had varying degrees of optimism about it. I even I went to real estate school. I was going to become a real estate agent, you know, because I was like, you know, what's like a business that really won't, people always need real estate agents. Somebody will always need to sell houses. So I went there, and my whole family is all like into real estate and stuff. So like, I felt like it was kind of like the natural progression, and I was just kind of doing that to kind of cover my butt. So I did that. I became a real estate agent. I never sold any houses, because what had happened is, as soon as I passed my class, things started lightening up a little bit. It was still closed down, everything, but it was still like, it was slowly opening up. So I'm like, oh man, I can start hanging out with the guys again and doing Periphery music. And so I worked on new Periphery stuff, and I put out a solo album, which is all like electronic music. It's not metal at all, but it's kind of like the other side of my personality, my musical personality. That's pretty much it. I've been trying to just like stay outside and get a lot of like hiking and working out going, and just trying to stay healthy. And I haven't gotten COVID yet. My mom just got it. I just got a text from her today, and she's like, don't come over when you get home, I have COVID. I'm like, oh God, we almost went the whole thing without getting it. So
well, yeah, I probably got it at the beginning, when it was like, before it was even a thing, right? We went to NAMM that year. Did you go to NAMM?
No.
Okay, you don't. Yeah. Okay, I went to NAMM.
Yeah, it's like
the
perfect place to get something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we did a tour, and we were in Europe, and we have a bunch of Italians on the bus. Like, our special guests were from Milan, so you know they were like this hot spot at the beginning. So everyone got sick except me, and I got sick after got back to US after a few shows. It's like, okay, well, what was that about? You know, mysteriously weird kind of like syndrome that I haven't had before. So I think that was my first one. I had it just like a few weeks ago.
It didn't knock you out or anything like that?
No, I was on tour, still playing.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's like just like weird fever coming and going and shit. And then it shut down anyway. The whole thing got shut down on the tour. So
you were in the middle of the tour, and then everyone just went home.
Yeah, so we had like a really good tour that was happening, which is like most of the shows basically all sold out.
Damn.
And then it just stopped after one and a half week. We did like, that's it.
Oh man. That sucks.
We drove all the way to, I think we had like a day off, in like a long travel day, you know, where you gotta drive, take a day off, like half a day off. Not really, not a real day off. And then you drive again when it's midnight. Well, by the time when we got to Minneapolis, like, after driving for 2 days, it's like, it's all shut down. It's like, oh, fucking great. Here we go, we're taking a plane back to LA. Oh wow.
Does all of your band live all over the world, or does everyone live in the States?
Just me is in LA, and Alicia, our bass player, who's playing bass for us live at the moment, she's in LA. The rest, they're either in the UK or in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And our drummer didn't make that tour because he was in the hospital with something which we think is COVID now. Back then he wasn't diagnosed.
Oh wow.
He was in the hospital for like 2 weeks.
He's okay now?
Yeah, now he's okay. But we had like a stand-in drummer, Achilles Priester. He was playing with Tony McAlpine.
Oh wow.
And he was playing with Angra and a bunch of bands. And so he had like, I think, a few days to learn the songs. You know, that was like
it's always stressful. Incredible when people can do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be absolutely worthless. I had to like learn a whole set in a couple of days.
I can't learn even one of my own songs I recorded in one day. It takes me a week.
Yeah, same way, dude. I'm the same way. God bless those people that can do it, though, because we wouldn't have drummers that could fill in at the last minute.
I know. Some people are just good. You know, that's what you can say about it. When this whole thing kicked off, I thought, you know what, maybe there'll never be live music again.
That's what I thought too.
Part of me thought that. Is like,
I thought it would be like or it would be go for so long that like a bunch of people in our scene would just have moved on from it, which some people did happen to, you know. Some people just quit touring because it just wasn't, you know, they may have already had their foot out the door already, and this was kind of the thing that sealed it. But it's I thought the same thing, you know, is this ever going to come back? And if it does come back, is it going to be the same thing? And, you know, is it going to be worth the time and money to do it? And it's like everybody's bands got, you know, devalued the day that, you know, we weren't allowed to have live shows anymore, because now it comes with this enormous risk to do it. And but it looks like it's turning around. It looks like it's getting better, and people are playing shows and going on tour, and they're making it work. So I'm happy about that. As far as Periphery goes, we're just looking for the right time, and we want to get back out. Like, we miss it so much. We have a weekly band call, and like half the call is usually spent like figuring out when are we going back out on tour again. So
yeah, I remember speaking to Misha about this for a while, actually, a few times, and we always ask him, when you guys gonna do it, you know, and kind of thing, because I know you guys are smart, you know, and you guys are in control of your destiny. You know, some bands are not in control of their destiny. They just get thrown out there because they have to, or they feel like they have to, that someone says, like someone in the business says, you guys have to go on tour.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
It's really tricky. It's such a tough spot to be in, because you can't blame them for doing it, because it's like, for a lot of folks, it's their singular source of income. I mean, it might have been different if this happened 25 years ago when people were still buying music, when there was a whole economy that was like dedicated to just purchasing physical music. But now it's music is all held by like a few corporations, and, you know, they don't pay out a good royalty rate, and, you know, we're virtually forced to focus on touring, and that's the one thing that can't be digitized and just, you know, replicated. So lucky for us, but yeah, I hope it changes, and I hope everything goes back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you know, when the pandemic happened, I felt like, and I wanted to do this for a while, is try how to take the band out of needing touring to survive. You know, because touring is like, it's time consuming. You're losing a part of your life. Yeah. Right, doing it. You know, it's okay when you're young, in your 20s, but as you get older, you know, this time is money too, you know? Yep. How much are you worth? How much is it worth to be on the road, just stuck there? And
there's various levels of touring. So past a certain age, you're not going to be okay with getting into a van and you know, eating Taco Bell every night, and you know, just being kind of like, and when you're a kid, that stuff's exciting, because it's like you're traveling with your buddies and you're playing loud music. But as you get older and things start, you know, really stabilizing at home, it's, you know, it really turns into this thing that you have to manage very carefully so you can maintain your quality of life. And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah, I don't think we realized that when we were young.
No, because, definitely not.
You know, you could drink much more, you can eat junk, and you still get on okay, you know? Yeah. Once you pass a certain age, it's like, oh, okay, wow, things are not as easy as it used to be.
Do you remember what age it was for you when you realized that, like, you can't do that all the time? I remember my age.
To be honest, when did I only really thought about that, to be honest, it's about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I thought, oh, okay.
I was 27, and I remember waking up after a show or something like that, and my back hurt and my knee hurt, and this was starting to stick out a little bit more, and like I was just like, oh. That was like the first time I noticed, like, oh, this is all catching up with me now.
Really? That early? You're smart that early? I didn't figure that one out until way later.
I would say thanks, but I didn't start doing anything about it until like 3 months ago. So, and I'm 38.
I mean, 27, what were we doing? 27, we were still on our second album. Like, so I think so. I mean, we used to lie about our age anyway. So I don't remember what age lying we were doing, you know, to be a bit cooler. You know, when you're like young, you want to be older. When you're older, you want to be younger. It's like,
it's so weird how that works. I think I spend a lot of my time now trying to simplify my life as an adult, which is really tricky to do. So I can kind of like emulate how I felt when I was younger, you know, like just being a kid, having no cares, you know, leading a very simple life. But unfortunately, when you get older, you don't have that option. So, you know, I try to fill my life with like gaming time and like, you know, time to work on like things that I collect, or, you know, kind of going through my old childhood stuff and organizing it and making sure that it's like staying in good condition and stuff. So yeah, I miss those days, man. I miss it.
Yeah. I mean, what, apart from guitar and music, what else are you into?
I'm into hanging out with my dog. Like me and him just like, we go everywhere together. So I'm into like a lot of like outdoorsy hiking stuff, and I'm usually like, when the weather's nice, right now it's hell back home, but when it starts getting nice, I'll just start, you know, finding trails. My girlfriend comes with me, and we just, you know, we'll stay out for the entire day and just like, you know, hike every day that we can. And yeah, now I'm starting to get into this car stuff. So it's like it's so crazy because there's so much to it, and I'm like learning all of this stuff at this like rapid pace. It's really hard to keep up. So I'm trying. I have a new car on the way. I'm really trying to get into it. So
you got a sports car, or?
I did, yeah.
Okay, come on, you gonna tell us?
Yeah, sure, I'll tell you. But you can't make fun of me, because it's definitely a car that you could get made fun of. I got a 22 Challenger Scat Pack. So
that's a mean.
Yeah, it's a mean car. It's usually associated with like bro culture and stuff, but I love muscle cars, and it's kind of like the last American muscle car. They're not going to make those for very much longer. You know, everything's going to go electric. So I figured I'd get my hands on one of those before you can't anymore.
Oh, I like muscle cars. I think they're cool.
Yeah.
I mean, someone that live in Europe, most of the time we never had them. You only see them in movies. And
yeah.
Video games like Grand Theft Auto. Or something,
yep.
You know, but yeah, I always wanted like a Corvette or something like that. I thought those cars were cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
What years were you into?
I don't even know what year they are. You know, when I saw them, I used to see them in video games. Oh,
yeah.
That's a cool car.
There's several eras of the Corvette that like people revere, and a lot of times they stick to like the 60s and 70s. But my favorite Corvette is the '89 convertible. It was like the first time I got into a car and felt like I was in a spaceship, because it had that the digital speedometer gauge cluster, and you know, it was convertible, so it had that going for it, and it was a pretty, you know, for the time, it was an inexpensive but fast car. And it's still, whenever I see one on the road that somebody like, I know they're taking care of it, I'm like, oh man, maybe I should get one of those just to kind of screw around with it, you know.
I did order the new GT3, so I'm waiting.
You're waiting for one? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's that car is perfect.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. The Diablo, my Lamborghini, those are really cool. They look great. You know, just like I relate to them from the video games I used to play when I was young.
Yeah. That's like the classic sort of like, it's not a hypercar, but that's kind of like what I think of as kind of a timeless looking car. Like if that pulled up, I'd be like, whoa, what is that? You know, it just has a look. I love that car.
Probably that's why a lot of car companies spend a lot of money putting the cars in games, hoping you're gonna make some money when you get older to be able to give them, you know, give them that money.
Totally.
Yeah, send that in. They got me, you know. I guess I was, you know, the remote control cars. I had a Porsche, and then I ended up getting when I moved to California. Basically. I didn't do it when I was in Europe, because you drive at 30 miles per hour or 40. That's the maximum I can go for 1 hour. I'll be driving at 40 miles per hour in the city, you know? Yeah. And the cameras everywhere, ready to take a shot of you.
Oh, man. You know, the whole camera thing is, I used to live in Maryland. And in Maryland, there's cameras everywhere. That I was living in Maryland as cameras were starting to become kind of this ubiquitous thing there. And then as soon as I moved out, there's like no cameras anywhere. And I was like, wait, so it's just in Maryland? And they're in other places, of course, but they're really bad there. And it made me just like, I just never want to live in any place where those things exist, you know? Are they bad here? Do they have cameras in LA?
Zero.
Oh, good.
There's just none.
Then I can still move here.
yeah, this is a good place. Yeah, they have pictures. They have a few like red light camera only in LA, from what I've seen, California.
Yeah.
Red light camera, fair enough. You're gonna kill someone, you go over red light.
Right. Yeah. Those ones I don't have as much a problem with. It's just the speeding cameras that just kind of.
You go a little bit over. You're talking to your friend. It's like, oh.
Yeah. It's like. In New York City, I was in Midtown. I was just driving. Somebody was stopped in the only lane that you can drive. The lane next to it was a bus lane. So in order not to hang up everybody behind me, I moved into the bus lane for probably 3 seconds and then moved back over. And then maybe a month later, I get a bill in my mailbox saying that I was driving in a bus lane. I tried fighting it. I tried explaining what was going on. They're like, nope. And because you waited too long, now the bill is even higher.
I got one of these ones. I had there's the yellow box where you can't stop in London. There's a yellow box. You can't stop there. Your car constantly has to be moving. You cannot stop. So it's like a no stopping area, like a junction area. So they sent me a bill, says you stop in the box. The camera have caught you. And then they sent me 2 photos where I'm not in the same spot.
So you were clearly moving.
I'm clearly moving. Like, I was going so slowly, but I was still moving. You're playing the real game there. You're like, I cannot go fast. I gotta move past this box.
It just start moving like this.
Yeah. So they said to me, we're gonna let you off this time because it's your first offense. Like, you know what? You guys just I got you.
You know what is interesting about these, at least in the States, I don't know about in the UK, but a lot of these cameras and the people who run them are run by third parties. So it's not a government thing. It's a thing that they're on lease from the government. So basically, we have these corporations enforcing the law. So to me, I'm not okay with that because it's
profit.
It's completely for profit and for what? No one feels safer. The same amount of accidents keep happening, and if anything, because everyone's so worried about triggering one of these things, they're gonna make more abrupt movements, at least in my opinion. But the for-profit thing sucks. I don't like that.
That's not a winner there. But I think the enforcement is much tougher in Europe. Let's say you can't drive around Europe without a plate in the front.
Yeah.
There's just no way. In the US, I mean,
some states, it depends on what state you're in.
In here, in LA, it's like, fuck it, I'm not going to put a plate in the front because it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I don't want to put something on my front bumper.
I'll take $25, fine. I feel like an arsehole. I've got 2 cars, I have no front plate. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to I have to put a front plate in Jersey. I'm probably not going to put a front plate on the Challenger, so.
Yeah, you're going to do the cool look. Don't want to put holes in my bumper there.
Yeah, you can't mess this up. I just got it.
When is the car coming in?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're pretty aware of the supply chain thing going on. So they quoted me December. I ordered it in November, early mid-November. They said maybe December, probably January, as late as February. So they gave me about a 3-month window, and I haven't gotten a notice yet or a call. So
that's not bad. I'm waiting for. They told me 1 year to 1.5 years.
Oh my God, for the GT3?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But, how do you deal with thinking about it every day? Do you think about it every day?
Do not even care. I don't even know if I want it when it turns out. It's by now, I never drive
I wish I could have that. I think about the damn thing every day.
I never drive my car. It sits in the garage. I don't have any time to go out in that car. So. Yeah. It's like, well, I guess if it turns up, I have to make time for it or something.
Yeah, you have to carve out time, but you got this Twitch, and you got your papa and everything, and you're married, so you got a lot on your plate.
I manage the band as well, so
cool.
I manage DragonForce, do all the business side, and the whole Twitch and YouTube and everything.
How do you do it, man? What's the secret?
I try to explain to people about Twitch. I mean, not everyone's live streaming, but I feel like, not necessarily Twitch, but let's say Twitch, YouTube, one of these social media, you have to be strong in one of them. Mm-hmm. You might not like it, and how would I explain to someone the importance of doing it is, well, we both sit in the airport wasting time, doing absolutely nothing in our lives for how many hours, traveling. Well, that's just part of being in a band. So doing one sort of social media and find something you like about it so you can do it. Because I don't think artists should do anything they don't want to do. You know, you're about free expression and being creative, right? So I try to find something fun about each platform that I enjoy, and I do it that way.
Is Twitch your favorite?
Twitch is my favorite for sure, because I'm a computer nerd, a game nerd, and guitar nerd, so I get to hang out with the same people.
You know, it's we've talked about starting a Periphery Twitch channel. I've streamed like very infrequently with the intention of kind of like ramping it up. But when we talk about it, as a band, like your name comes up, like how do you do something like this and keep it fresh and create content and stuff, and Matt Heafy and like you know you two guys are kind of like the guys that everyone's like looking at to like follow some sort of format or content creation, because you guys do such a good job at it. So it's really impressive. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Twitch is really easy because I'm not really working. You know, how could I playing guitar, fixing guitar be working? I'll be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of a snapshot of my life that fans can see, and practicing songs that you play on tour or your own songs is so boring when you. How to tell? How I explained it last night is you're playing in front of thousands of people and you got to play the same songs again in a room by yourself.
Right.
Doing that is really tough. So doing it on Twitch makes it less lame and boring.
That's really
playing
smart.
The same songs again. Oh my God, I don't think I can play Through the Fire and Flames by myself sitting in a room, you know, practicing that. But if there's people throwing, you know, whatever emoji icons, excited to hear it, you're doing something that fans enjoy. It's like, okay, that's different.
That's a good point. I always I'm very like I'm not like the most confident guitar player. I think that I don't know if I could do a Twitch stream channel where I play a lot of guitar. Of course I do it because that's how people know me. They know me as a guitar player. I tried the gaming thing for a little bit, and I found it really hard to concentrate on playing the game and also like talking. So I'd go quiet for like a couple of minutes and I'd be like, oh wait, I'm like still streaming. I forgot. Like I need to like look at the chat, and I find it hard to find the right game to do that in, because a lot of times I get really immersed.
You're like in there, you're playing Resident Evil. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you, man. I want to get scared. I want to get shocked.
Me and my girlfriend had a funny idea because she loves watching me play survival horror games. So I thought like maybe like I could just Twitch stream her getting really scared because she like jumps. We were playing like Alien Isolation. I'm like, I should just put the camera on you. Everybody can see how you get scared, you know. So we thought about doing that, and that, you know, we never did it. But trying to come up with ideas, you know, it's really hard.
When I started streaming, I guess almost 4 years ago now, it's been that long, I would delete all the guitar playing I've done so no one can watch it again. It's like, if you watch it live, that's fine, but afterwards you cannot watch it again because I know it's not perfect.
Right. Especially
I'm practicing. It's like when you have a tour, you have your game face on, you got your brain, you're wired up, you play the songs, you kill them, you know. When you're at home, you don't really care trying to be 100%. It's like someone who run the marathon and you have been in shape all the time even when you're not competing. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I got past that after a while, and now I can play them. I still know it's not that great. It's kind of shit, but you know, you can watch it if you want. It's your problem. You know, you want to watch the real thing 100%. You come to the show.
Yeah.
You get the like rough version here. I managed to multitask my brain to talk while I can read chat and play the song.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's like
amazing.
It's a useless skill outside of Twitch, but that's something you never learn playing in a band. Right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. The closest thing is just singing backups. Like I sing backups for Periphery, and I only did it out of necessity, not because I can sing, not because I have any aspirations to be a singer, but you know, I figured like, well, maybe if I can do it. I can barely walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, so it was a lot of work. So the fact that you're able to do that is just
it's weird. Just doing it enough, and it's like, you know what, we couldn't play the guitar when we first started, right? Kind of the same thing now. I can read and play and do stuff like that. Yeah, maybe it will help my playing, but I think I got better on the guitar again doing Twitch. It's like I got good-ish, and then I started playing the band and I got worse, because once your band becomes successful, practicing and all these things became impossible.
Yeah, you practice for the tour and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So I learned to love the guitar again by doing Twitch. So
that's cool. That's really cool.
Kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, all of you guys there.
Yeah, look what you did.
for being part of my stream to make me a better guitar player. So here, if you had to, what kind of guitars you're into when you're not thinking about your own kind of stuff?
Let me see what you got here. I see that you have quite a few S series. That was what your Ibanez signature. That was based on an S series, right? Yeah. I have a couple of those. I like the really low profile body, and they're really light. There are some with like 22 frets that kind of bugs me. So I definitely like at least to have 24 fret guitars.
I played 22 until 2000 and end of 2006. That's how long I played 22 frets for. Because I couldn't buy a 24 frets. I bought 22. I don't have money to buy another one. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's not even possible for me to imagine having that many guitars.
Yeah. I used to be all about Floyds. Like all my guitars have Floyds on them, and then it just got to the point where I was just like, I want changing strings to take 5 minutes, not 50 minutes. You know, because you have to cut the ball ends off, and you know, I'm also very like meticulous about how I like wrap them around the machine.
Gotta be no more than 3, and not less than 2.
It's got to have that perfect coil.
And it's got to have that. It's got coil. It's got to go under and up, so it traps it when it pulls.
Yep, exactly. So I got tired of doing that, and I switched over to string through fixed bridges with locking tuners, and I've never looked back. So I also have plenty of guitars with Floyds. I'll never be without. So, but I generally go for like the more minimalist vibes. If you were to look at my guitar collection, everything's pretty much a solid color. There's only a few guitars that have nice finishes.
I didn't know your signature guitar is it fixed bridge or is it?
All of the ones that I bring on tour are blocked. I either have like a tremolo in them, or I put like a block of. I'll have the LA Custom Shop just put some wood in there to just kind of keep it from floating.
Does it go forward? Does it tilt forward or completely?
No, it's just completely static. Fixed. So yeah. But there is one song. There was one tour where we played one song that we had to use the trem on, and we all each brought a separate guitar for that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So now I'm a fixed bridge guy. I have a new signature guitar coming out. I don't know how much I can talk about it, but people have seen it. There's a red and blue guitar that I've been playing a lot. So if you follow me on social media, you can see what might be coming. And it's a 27 fret with a humbucker single coil. It's not actually a single coil. It's one of those like hot rail ones. But you can put a single coil in there if you wanted to. But yeah, it's kind of I'm doing something a little. I'm deviating from the double humbucker look that I normally.
So you're evolving.
A little bit, yeah. Within some confines, but
I saw the picture of it. The blue, kind of a little bit colorful like this.
Yeah. It's
not
like
this, but yeah.
I know what you mean. It's like that same kind of like soft. It's like a soft dark blue. It has like a white binding going around it and everything. And I'm also a DiMarzio artist. And I have some new signature pickups that are going to be in that guitar.
Oh, so, cool.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you've been using DiMarzio for like forever?
Yeah, about the same time that I've been using Ibanez. I got the DiMarzio deal like very close to when I got the Ibanez deal. And when they approached me about a signature guitar, I got off the phone with Taft, and I was like thinking to myself, what pickups are going to go in there? We didn't talk about that. So I called up Larry, and I was like, hey, you guys want to do this? And he was like, yeah. And so that's how those pickups were developed. Those pickups were developed for that guitar. So I got to kind of do both at the same time rather than, have one come way after the other.
Yeah, I love Larry DiMarzio. He's cool.
Yeah, great guy.
Cool guy.
Great guy. Yeah, I have a lot of fun hanging out with him.
Yeah, I never did a signature with them. I had like a custom on the DiMarzio pickups on my Ibanez signature, but I never did like a signature you can buy.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Yeah. I don't think they really started ramping up on those until a bit later. And it was a pretty exclusive sort of thing with them. So I didn't expect it. I just kind of called them like being like, I'll probably say no, but you don't know if you don't try,
Yeah, you never know. I since I got so many guitars now here, I actually lucky that I can actually really A/B different, I wouldn't say A/B, but listen to different kind of stuff. I got like Seymour Duncan, Fishman's, all different ones, Fluence, modern, whatever, classic, a Bassi. It actually changed my perspective a bit. I feel like when I was used to go into signature or custom deal, now I have much more knowledge than back then. You know, now I'm like a living guitar center.
Yeah,
You know, it's kind of cool. I still love those pickups, but it's like, those pickups I can't do for something else. I can't do it for my Twitch. It doesn't work.
Do you have a favorite set, or a set that you kind of go to as your, you know, the first thing you try if you're gonna record or write some music?
You know, those custom one on my signature guitar, of course, I play them on stage every single day.
Yeah, so you're probably really comfortable with them.
Yeah. But I'm familiar with the DiMarzio Evolutions, the set of Evolutions as well. I recently got into the Breed one. You know, the Breed one
Breed.
is on the Mirror Jam.
That's a Vi signature pickup, right? Breed?
Yeah. It's the one in the back. You see that Mirror Jam there? It has, you can roll down the volume and you got a different kind of tone, while the Evolution is just loud all the time. It's just like fucking shred.
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of got into the rolling off the volume and having a nice, clean, smooth sound, and then you got to pull it up to have shred.
Are you strictly a passive pickup guy?
During my career, yes. Now I play anything. Right. I actually find that interesting to compare. I got some EMGs, the old favorites one there on the Michelangelo old signature of Dean, and they got those Fluence pickups. You know, these Abassi ones, they're interesting. You know, it's different tool for different jobs, right?
Sure, yeah.
They're not for DragonForce. They're not for DragonForce stuff. But I listen to it and I go, wow, you know what? I'm gonna put some kind of backing track. I'm gonna improvise, practice playing something else, and I will learn to adapt to the guitar. You know, like when we do signature guitars, the guitar have to adapt to us. And doing this live stream, I learned to adapt to different guitars, and it's like solving a puzzle. When you have a new guitar you play, how do you play this thing and make it sound good?
Right. Like, and also like, how do you figure out what its strengths are?
Yeah, those things are interesting. But I told you I got another 8 guitars coming.
Yeah.
Soon, so that'll be interesting.
Where are you gonna put them? Gonna make another wall there?
I'm not gonna put another wall. I don't think I can do it. Even though it can be done, I think it'll be too crazy.
Have your viewers like seen this room? Can they see this room can they see all the way around, or can they only really just see what they're looking at through these?
Oh, they only see this. But they've seen the different part of this room before.
I can't like stress how cool it is in here. Like this is such a cool setup.
Actually, the guitar the lights react to the guitar playing. I have a
that's so sick
thing there. So let's say it's like. What can you do? Oh, this is when you play do you play 8 strings?
Sometimes, yeah.
After playing that for like 20 minutes, you play like a 6 string. Feels like you're playing a toy. You know, it's like.
Yeah.
Do you see the light?
Oh, that's so cool. And that one's going too. Yeah. That's awesome, dude. I love that. Yeah.
Tosin, of course, another signature artist once upon a time.
Yeah, that's right. He went on and made some really, really crazy, awesome guitars.
Yeah, this is a good one. Have you played much of these Abassis before?
Yeah, Misha has 1 or 2 at his place, and I'll always grab one, check it out. Really nice stuff.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. You can see the evolution of him. Ibanez just wasn't going to be able to make something for him the way he can with his own guitar company. He's
very particular, so it's, you know, it makes sense, and you know, I think he did a really, really good job. You know, and it's funny because like he's like tried to design stuff like this with Ibanez before, and this is like with this company, it's like the first time that I feel like he's really like solidified his aesthetic and his designs and stuff. Like, it looks really good.
Yeah, I like it. You do feel like kind of in a futuristic kind of a thing,
it's
right?
very futuristic, and it's very like artistic too. Like it's just such a pretty guitar.
Artistic statement for sure. Yeah, I had all these kind of weird headless guitars and stuff. Do you ever play a headless?
I've played them before, but I've never owned one.
Yeah, I think kind of aesthetic thing really for me, headless, because you have to like the aesthetic. You know, I think it's a compromise on the guitar having a headless, because you lose some of that tone not having a headstock, so you really got to make it look cool. Yeah,
definitely. I've never gotten used to tuning at the bridge. I'm always reaching for the headstock. So that's the thing that I guess I never owned one, so I haven't really spent a lot of time with it. But I think that would take me a while to get used to that.
I mean, it's weird it even came back, you know? I thought that was dead and buried.
Yeah, because those what were those? Steinbergers. Yeah. I always saw those like in the 80s and early 90s, and I always thought, oh, those are really cool looking, but it was definitely an 80s guitar, you know, and they made a comeback, and now they look like modern shreddable guitars.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, they do play really well, but I think compared to one of a headstock, if everything else equal, headstock one always can sound a bit better. There's something about the vibration. There's just something more about it. But you can sit at the back of a car and play this
That's
guitar.
true, yeah, that's very true. Good backpack guitar.
Yeah. I think it's great for traveling, and being kind of futuristic is pretty cool.
Yeah, right on.
Hey, you guys in chat, you guys got any questions for us? Topic you want us to discuss about? We have another guitar geek in the house, so
lay it on me.
Don't be shy. They're like, sometimes I'm playing and they like being very quiet, and I gotta say, you guys gonna ask or say something while I'm playing.
Show me the Moogle. There he is.
What's the Moogle? That's a cute.
Yeah, it's a cute little character from Final Fantasy. I'm a big game nerd, so I got. You guys might not be able to see it, but he's holding a gun too, which is they don't hold guns, so that's what makes it kind of cheeky.
Right, show it now. You can see it.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
I do play Final Fantasy 14. I haven't logged on in a while because of the waits to get into the game have been just unbearable, so I'm taking a break.
To get into a game now like that, RPG game, you need to have 3 hours to start the beginning. At least. Otherwise, you can't get into it.
Yeah. What drives me bananas is when you like start a game and you're not sure exactly how long it's going to take to get to the first save point. So then, like, say you have to go somewhere, then you have to turn the damn thing off and then start the intro all over again. So games are getting better about it, but that used to drive me nuts.
Doing this super boring beginning, which is teaching me how to crouch, how to stand up and turn around. It's like, okay, you're wasting my time. Can we just play the fucking game?
Yeah. I can't think of any games that really nail that, like, because a lot of games do this where they incorporate the tutorial into the intro, and that's fine, but there's always something about it that makes me feel like I'm getting hung up on something. So I wonder if anybody will actually ever nail that.
Yeah. I think the way to nail it from someone who fucking got zero clue on how to make games. So Commy's just one of those internet assholes that have something to say about everything. Is just have the tutorial as a separate thing called tutorial.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did in the old days. It's like you could just skip that thing and just kind of be clumsy all the way through the first half of the game.
Yeah, it's like, I guess people don't do it and then they can't play the game correctly and they complain. It's like, oh wow.
Well, gaming mechanics have gotten so much more complex now. You know, there's just so much to it, and as it should be, we have these amazing gaming machines and so much power. These things are gonna inevitably just become more complex.
What are you playing on?
So I just built kind of like a monster PC. I've never really owned a PC that was kind of hard to top. I'd always get something that was more affordable.
Yeah.
But my buddy Kevin, who's like really into PC gaming, he's like, I can build you an amazing PC. And I'm like, all right, let's go to Micro Center. And so we went, and I was just like a shopkeeper. I'm like, just give this guy whatever he asked for.
I want the latest.
Yeah, that's basically what I did. And we almost didn't get a GPU because those things are just like, you can't get them. But there were two left. There were two 3080 Ti's left, and I was able to get one of them. Yeah, so I've been gaming on that. I've been playing. I replayed Cyberpunk on this because that's kind of like the game that I like check systems on, because it's just got such great graphics that you know, it's like a good way to see how because everything is just maxed out. And I check like the frame rates and stuff. And another one that I'm playing, and this is a bit controversial because a lot of people think it's a scam, but I've been playing Star Citizen, and just there's really not much to do in that game. It's more of like just a very fancy tech demo, but it's beautiful. So if you got a rig, like that's a good game to test on there. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, and I've been playing this other game with my buddy named Elite Dangerous. It's kind of like
Elite Dangerous. Yeah.
It's like just like a space exploration, space combat game. But that's not like, I'm not pushing my system. But I also got VR. So now I'm starting to explore that world a little bit.
Which one you got? You got the Valve Index?
Yeah, I got the Valve Index. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Like, I can't do it for very long because like I'll take the thing off and I'll be like, I'll feel like I have like two like burnt holes in my skull. It's like hard on the eyes because my eyes dry out pretty quickly. But I love it. It's, you know, it's really come a long way. Because you probably remember, like in the early 90s, VR was a thing. They had VR, but it was very expensive. It looked terrible.
Shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it like died out because no one got behind it. And then when it started coming back, I was like, I wonder if it's gonna be shot like it was like in the early 90s, and it's gotten really good. So
yeah, I still have the old system. I got the Oculus Rift. Yeah, that's the first one of the Reborn, right? Yeah, because it was hard to get at that point, but I did something with them for DragonForce. We did like the commercial for the Guitar Hero VR thing.
Oh, that's sick.
They had one for me. They kept one for me. Yeah, I was playing a lot of driving sim with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting into next.
Yeah.
Misha's been like getting me in the sim rig, so now I have to.
I did all that stuff before. A few years ago, like I haven't actually played my sim rig for like 2 years. Been sitting in a garage now.
Yeah.
I used to have the seat and everything, and then I downgraded to just the stand that if you fold away.
And
then since it folds away, it never come out of the garage.
Yeah.
I moved here, it's never got it out.
That's what I keep scratching my head on. Like I want a sim rig, but where am I gonna put it? You know, I have furniture. Like I just don't know where it's gonna go. So I guess I just have to get a bigger house.
Get the folding one. Yeah, I got a folding one.
Yeah.
Because I realized, you know what, I don't have time to put this thing just sit here. I got a million guitars.
Yeah.
So
I worry about like getting a folding one because I feel like it'll be like a situation where if it's folded up and I can't see it, I'll never be motivated to like take it out and set it up. You know, it's like one of those things that I just want set up and then I can sit down and play it.
Yeah. And then you get off it. And yeah, I know. Now I got a folding one. I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Used to play quite a lot, but yeah, I guess I got this one I built here. I actually built this on Twitch, this machine here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's I don't care about lights or anything, but I just needed the parts that I overclock it, you know. I don't buy the most expensive one, I just buy almost the most expensive one below. And then overclock it up to like to the fastest I can go, the water cooling and all that stuff.
Oh, you got the liquid cooled stuff.
Yeah.
I went for just a fan.
Yeah. I'm an old nerd. I've been building PCs since the 90s.
So I'm an old school PC gamer. What are some of your favorite games from that era?
All right. Let's see if you know this one. Jagged Alliance.
Oh yeah, of course.
Jagged Alliance.
It's like an isometric strategy game.
Yep.
I played that.
Yeah, I love that game. They're doing a new one.
Oh really? In the same style?
Same style.
Cool.
Yeah, the first one, I loved that one. I played that a lot. What about you? Okay, from that era or even earlier?
I was huge into the Ultima games. So I probably started with Ultima 7. I started with Ultima Underworld. And then I played Ultima 7, and then Ultima 8, and then Ultima Online. SimCity 2000. I was a big nerd. Loved making like cool cities in that game.
Were you ever into the Wing Commander stuff?
Yeah. At the Wing Commander was
Commander 3. I think that was probably the.
Yeah, I think that was the most popular one.
Yeah.
Or like the biggest one. And actually, that game that I'm playing that I just mentioned, Star Citizen, that's being developed by one of the original Wing Commander guys. So it's got a lot of hype behind it for that reason. See, I'll name one other one. Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall. So everyone really knows Elder Scrolls from like Morrowind and on, but there was 2 games that preceded and they're kind of like these procedurally generated worlds, so they're huge. And procedural generation has existed for a really long time, but a lot of people think that's like kind of like a new thing. But there were games doing it back then, and it's just such an enormous, massive game. Very, very buggy and very frustrating to play, but I put so many hours into that game. But that's cool. I'm glad to meet another like old school PC gamer.
Yeah, I everyone talk about, of course, like the old stuff like Duke Nukem and Quake. Not Quake. Quake is kind of new, actually. Even that before Doom, the old Doom.
Yeah.
Rise of the Triad.
Yep.
The
that
original one.
That was in the same engine as Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
The build engine. Yeah.
Bitmap.
Yep.
Bitmap.
Yeah.
Fake 3D.
Yeah. That was a great game. That was a really special era of gaming for me. Like I subscribed to PC Gamer magazine. I was just obsessed with it, and I had consoles. I had a Super Nintendo. I had PlayStation and stuff. But I would always just play those early 90s games, especially. Like you ever play like the original Command and Conquer and Command and Conquer Red Alert?
And then Red Alert, I played those.
Those are a lot of fun. You go online and send 20 tanks over to somebody's base.
That was before StarCraft,
Yep.
I really liked the original Command and Conquer.
Yeah, me too.
That was great.
You're making me want to play it.
And Red Alert was cool too. I love StarCraft, the first one.
Yeah.
Those were great. I played 2 for a bit, but they split into 3. So I only played the first one.
Yeah.
After they split, it's like, what? I'm too old to have time to play all 3 that long. I love those. And before that, I had like consoles, of course. Like my favorite consoles, they were the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, I love the TurboGrafx. Such an underrated console. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my favorite early console, like the PC Engine.
Oh yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad you played that one. Like the first 2 Bonk games, I play through pretty regularly. I'll play through Keith Courage, even though it's like kind of it's pretty one-dimensional. There's like some other good ones, but I always love that they came on the little cards. I always thought that was a really cool format.
Yeah, the Hue card. Right?
Hue card, yeah.
And when I go to Japan, fans give me old PC Engine games as like gifts.
That's awesome. So they know that you love that stuff. Yeah, that's great.
It's great. Yeah, I was totally into the shoot 'em up stuff.
Like R-Type and stuff?
R-Type.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have R-Type on my phone.
Yeah, I love R-Type, man.
R-Type, and I've been playing have you been playing the new one?
R-Type Final 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the Kickstarter. I guess if you beat the game, my name's in the...
Is it in there?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't beaten it yet.
I beat it like, I don't know, 10, 20 times.
Yeah.
Going through the different...
It's so hard.
It's hard.
It's really hard, yeah.
It's hard. I think I play normal difficulty, but when you go up 1 higher, it's like...
It's insane. It's so insane.
Our type of difficulty is just like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah. I don't get it. And then I'll go on YouTube to kind of like watch somebody who's really good at it do it, and like even that looks nuts to me. I'm just like, it doesn't help.
What are these guys doing?
Yeah.
So I've been playing quite a lot of our type on stream and stuff, and one of my favorite, I don't know if you know this one, Blazing Lasers.
I love Blazing Lasers. Like, that's like the top-down TurboGrafx one. Yeah, that was what I loved about that is like if you get enough of the same power-up, just basically the entire screen is just taken up by weapons.
That was a great game. Yeah.
I love that game.
I wish there's more games like that now, but there's not many. Yeah. And the music is not as good as it used to be. They used to have like really good melodic background music.
Totally.
There's a tune, now it's just like a beat.
Some of my favorite video game music ever is for Super R-Type, which is on the Super Nintendo. And the music in that game is phenomenal. Like, if you want to hear good video game music, check out Super R-Type for the Super Nintendo. Great soundtrack.
Yeah, it's got like, it's very Japanese, that kind of melodic.
It's melodic, but it also is like, it's like aggressive, like it's fast, and it's like they use really cool instrumentation to kind of give you the sense that you're either listening to like a really good metal band or a really good fusion band. And they did such a good job with such a limited amount of sounds.
It's like those, is it Thunder Force games?
Thunder Force,
those Genesis, they had good tunes, and
you're
old thinking about those consoles. Do you still have any of them?
I do have I have my original Nintendo. I have my original Super Nintendo. I got rid of some of my Sega stuff. I had a Sega Master System. And I had a Genesis. I got rid of both those. I think I gave them away. So if I wanted to get them back, I could probably just be like, hey, can I borrow that for a couple days? But I have a Raspberry Pi that has like all the systems on it, so I don't really need to hook that stuff up anymore. I just choose what I want to play from a big list.
Yeah. You know what's great? There's this arcade in Tokyo, like R-Type, and they have Outrun,
like the classic ones.
The machine, like Chase Kill, these old games, and when you have to put money in, I don't know how many yen it was, play the game.
It's like something was on the line.
Emulators like you just die, you don't really care that much. You're paying to play, you play.
Now like I go to a lot of retro arcades or barcades as they're called sometimes, and now all you gotta do is just drop $20 and then you can play as much as you want until you get sick of it. I feel like that's a cool model and you can play more games that way, but when you're not pumping quarters into it, like you don't have that sense of like
I'll press continue.
Yeah, it's
Rampage. Okay, I'll just continue Rampage.
There's less on the line, you know. You're trying to get that quarter to go way longer than it's worth.
Yeah. So R-Type 1, I can probably get to 5 or 6 stages.
Yeah.
With 1 credit.
Oh wow, you're good. I can't definitely. I'll probably be like maybe $2 or $3. If we're talking a single play is a quarter, I die a little bit. I love those games, but I'm not the best at them.
Once you die, it gets much harder. It's like you get through that 1 life, or you're not gonna make it, and you have to reset.
They make it twice as bad because any power-ups that you collected, they're gone, and your ship starts off as slow as it can be. It's really like the speed thing, I think, is like the most valuable power-up, and you don't want to get too many of them, otherwise you become too fast.
Yeah, you only pick up about 2, and then you try to avoid them. It's like, oh, you got forced into picking one up. Dude, now I can't control this thing.
None of my friends play these games, so I'm so glad I'm finally chatting about these side-scrolling shooters with someone. That's cool, man. I think for me, that was kind of the ultimate shoot-'em-up. Then I'd have to say Blazing Lasers. That's another big one. And then there's this other game called Ikaruga, and this game had like such a cool concept where there were 2 types of projectiles coming at you, and they were either like dark or light, and you would have to change your shield. And you can run into the dark ones if you had the dark shield up, but if an enemy started shooting light ones at you, then you had to switch your shield, and then you could absorb those ones. But if you were on light and you absorbed a dark, it would kill you. Or you'd take damage. And so I thought that, and it's like the amount of projectiles on the screen is just, it'll give you a headache. So it's a really cool concept.
I'll put Blazing Lasers in there, or Gunhead, if you guys got the Japanese version. Gunhead, Blazing Lasers, they call differently in different countries,
I never understood that.
Yeah. I'll definitely put that in there as my top 3. I'll pick R-Type 1.
Yeah.
But Final is out of control. You know, I spent so many hours on that. I unlocked so many ships.
I unlocked every one of them. Like it took me probably 9 months, 10 months, almost a year to get all of them.
Yeah.
It's insane. There is an honorable mention. Gradius 3.
Gradius 3?
Yeah, because I like the power-up system where you could like skip over. Like you'd see your power-ups at the bottom, and if you got the things that charge up your power-up, you can skip over the ones you don't want and go straight to like certain ones. So I thought that was because you could be very strategic about what you needed per level. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, dude, there's so many of those games are great.
R-Type Final. There's one called Alesti on the Genesis, Musha Alesti, whatever it's called. I can't remember and there's one is on the Super Graphics PC Engine only. No one cares, no one would know, no one bought that game. There's another cool one. If you guys in chat knows, it's called Oldiness. I don't know how they translated these from Japanese names into like Oldiness.
Gunhead,
I'll definitely put that in the top. It's hard, that game.
It's hard, but it's like not, I feel like if you stick with it, it's not going to take you that long to learn how to master it. Whereas I think like R-Type, I think that I didn't beat the first one until I was an adult.
Me too.
So
the kid, when I was playing it when I was like 12 years old, I kept dying on the first level.
Same.
Couldn't do it. And I was like, first level was super easy, but I couldn't pass the first level when I was like 12 playing that.
I couldn't master the use of the force, because like you have that thing that attaches to the ship, the force bit, and I didn't really understand the idea that you're supposed to shoot it off, call it back. Sometimes you need to put it on the back, sometimes you need to have it on the front. And that was a really hard thing for me to grasp as a kid. And then as an adult, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to figure that out. So
yeah, I remember just playing that game as one of my dad's friend. He had like the PC Engine, like no one had it then. He got it from Japan. He was like, super cool. It's like, I mean, I just sat there and play while the adults have their boring conversations. Like, no one told me what to do. You have to figure it out yourself. The challenge.
It's hard when you're a kid too, because there's no internet, there's no YouTube, can't figure. You just the best you'd get is either you had a magazine subscription or you had a buddy who was better at video games than you. That was it. That's really.
And my parents were anti-video games, so it's like
What parent wasn't back then?
Yeah, back then they didn't grow up learning it,
Yeah.
playing it, so it's like this is evil, this is addictive. You shouldn't play
I don't
games.
like how long he's been sitting in front of the TV. That's what they.
Now
say.
everyone sit in front of the screen,
Yep.
right? There's just no escape.
Yep.
It's good to talk about. It's the first time really I talk about like these kind of games to people. They're so unpopular. Like
Yeah.
these shoot 'em ups, these old games.
Yeah, same here, man. It's like I don't really know anybody that likes that style of game anymore, so I can't tell you how cool that conversation was for me.
Do you play shoot 'em ups with a joystick or pad?
No, I gamepad it. Yeah.
You gotta play the joystick.
The joystick is like
Because
the
your
real deal
arms,
with.
Your arms is faster than your thumb. The
Yeah.
reaction. There's no way I can finish the game with a joystick.
I gotta get like
reaction.
a USB arcade stick.
Arcade stick.
Yeah.
Then you suddenly get better. You go, oh wow, because the reaction, the thumb is doesn't react for me as well as my arm.
And my thumb, if I've been pushing down on a gamepad for too long, it just gets raw and it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. It's red.
Yeah.
So I got like a fight.
That's a good idea.
That's the
I
thing.
have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What ship do you have in Star Citizen?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Okay, so like one of the most controversial aspects of this game is that they sell ships for money, and that's kind of like your ticket into the game. A lot of people don't like this. I particularly don't like it. I think that my Anvil Arrow is my favorite one just because it just has so much firepower stock in the ship. So you can like upgrade your stuff, and if you don't, you'll be at a major disadvantage. But I can usually hop in that ship and just hang because it just has so much firepower. Oh, I also like my Aegis Saber. That thing's another beast. But I have more ships in that game than I like to admit, so I'm just gonna stop there.
You play much StarCraft?
I didn't play much of it. No. That's RTS, right? Real-time strategy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved RTS, but I think instead of StarCraft, I went towards Total Annihilation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, that one was pretty fun, I thought. I liked how you could like download units. Or like people could make stuff for the game. That was like kind of like my first experience modding stuff,
For you guys out there, I'm a Protoss guy for StarCraft, in case you guys care. Protoss.
Protoss?
Yeah, the alien, or aliens, what am I talking about? But yeah, my life.
That's a good question. Would I want to work with Soken? So Soken is like this incredible composer. He does a lot of the music, or most of the music for Final Fantasy XIV. A lot of people know the Final Fantasy series as being like, Nobuo is kind of like the guy that made all this legendary music, but Soken, he's made so much great, like, memorable tunes, and I think he deserves more credit for that. But I would love to work with a guy like that, but I am so like I'd be so out of my depth. It's just like some people are just like on that level musically where I don't know, I'd be so intimidated.
I don't play much online gaming anymore. The first one for me was Quake. I spent so many, I don't know how many hours each day playing Quake World. Did you play?
I played the original one over LAN. So like I never really played with any more than like 3 people, and they were all my friends. So eventually we'd all be so evenly matched that it wouldn't like be very much fun anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think what was like the first person shooter where it like had matchmaking. You remember?
For me, I wouldn't say matchmaking, but on Quake you would jump into a server.
Oh, okay.
And that was the transition.
Quake 1?
Quake 1.
Oh, okay.
The transition from people moving like this because they play with a mouse to move. No, non-mouse. They play with the keyboard.
Yeah. I can't imagine playing that game on the
Back then,
keyboard.
you see people going in, and it's like, oh, you guys gotta play the mouse. That was the first time people transitioned from using these keys to move to a mouse. Before that,
because that's how you play Doom. I think that's
played Doom with this. No one had a mouse.
Yeah, because you didn't need to like aim up or down or anything like that. You just had to like just kind of be in the right direction, and then the bullets would go there.
Yeah, it would like auto aim for you.
Super auto aim.
Yeah, that was and even Quake World back then there was still auto aim by default. So you have to take it off.
Yeah.
Because you would shoot up, it would like go down. But Quake was you see people online transitioning into mouse, and you were the one too because you realize you cannot compete.
Yeah, no, a mouse and keyboard. I mean, still to this day, mouse and keyboard is the meta.
Yeah, it's just crazy back then to remember that we didn't use it, and I was in a Quake clan and we used to do matches.
Oh damn, you were probably real good.
I was ranked is like in pretty high in the UK for like in the servers.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's like what I wish I was like when I was playing that game. That's so cool, dude.
Yeah, because once you go on the server, you have to get better. People like you see the levels they're doing it at. Like,
do you remember your first match and just like getting just absolutely stomped on and you're like, whoa, I have to get good?
Oh, Annihilated, the first match we did, like there was 4 against 4 in the clan matches, like just 2 teams, but it's like you gotta learn how to work together and hold. And we play like Capture the Flag and Team Fortress, the different offshoots. Yeah, that was a great time, man.
Were you ever a Counter-Strike dude?
Never got into Counter-Strike because that's around the era that I started DragonForce.
Ah, okay, yeah. So you were too busy for video games.
So I had that time which like I didn't really play much games. Didn't have the time, you know, when you start in a band and you're doing that, going out. Yeah, there's a little kind of like the black hole for a bit.
You want to hear something interesting about how I found out about your band for the first time? I had this friend, and this was back in MySpace, and she had one of your songs on her MySpace page, and that was like the first time I ever heard your guys' band, and I'm like, this is sick. So that's how I found out about you guys, MySpace.
Cool. I forgot. Yeah, people can have a song on their profile.
Yeah. Kind of a cool thing, you know. I feel like these companies, they're always like trying to just constantly update it and add new things to it, and really if they would have just left it like that, you get a top 8 and a song on your profile and that's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, I think humans just get bored of things. I feel like Instagram will be on its way out sooner or later. The transition is happening.
Yeah, especially when it's like it's so geared towards like influencers and people just kind of like selling things. Like I have this like weird thing about constantly promoting on Instagram because I feel like I try to look at it from my perspective, because a lot of times I'm just like doing the super scroll and just being like, all right, this is boring, and I don't even really look at anything anymore, you know, because it's like everybody's just like shoving the same stuff in your face. Unfortunately, it has to be done. You have to play the game while it's being played. So, you know, I do have to participate, but I always feel weird. I'm just like, I feel like the more we do this, the faster people are going to become numb to it.
Yeah, sooner or later there'll be a next thing. And I've been doing TikTok a lot now. I enjoy it because it's actually, for me, it's like a mini YouTube. All my stuff are mostly is kind of joking, like messing around doing stupid things. But there's a few serious posts I do, but I don't promote anything. I don't talk about come to see our tour, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of a different kind of thing.
Sure.
But you got to get into it before you're forced. Do it before, because you will have to do it when everyone's doing it.
You're right. You're scaring me now.
So I'm sorry. I'll see you on TikTok in
probably
in about 6 months.
And go home and be like, Herman was right. Download.
I see pop musicians collaborating all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen enough in the metal world.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we should just do it. It's like,
I remember that this is like rewinding a whole bunch in the same conversation, but we were talking about like metal. It's like a very like insular sort of thing, and it's like hard to promote metal and it's hard to get people excited about it. But you know who's like figured it out is like the electronic music crowd. A lot of those guys don't do albums. They just collaborate together and they release singles. And, you know, people get hyped about a single, you know, rather than like expecting a whole album of music to come out. I'm not saying that will work for metal, but it's working really well for the electronic music scene. Yeah,
I think the cost of how much it costs to make an album and how much you get out of it, it's like the album cycle is the end when you release an album. Technically, in my view, is like in the old days, they would say when you release the album, you start the album cycle, you do your tours and stuff. I think when you drop the album, it's like, well, we heard all the fucking songs, great.
Yeah.
Next, what's on Spotify next?
Yeah, I think, and because everything is just so easily available, you don't get that anticipation. This is why vinyl is big now, by the way. At least that's my opinion. Like, because you have this tangible thing that has beautiful art, and it's like, you know, you have to put a physical item into another physical item. There's like an interaction that you have with it and a physical connection that you have with it. And because people don't have that with streaming, it's very easy to kind of just like casually just like blow through an album, and then it's like, what's next? You know, you can't form that connection with it. And I know you're old enough to remember this, but remember that anticipation of like waiting at a record store for that album that you pre-ordered? Best feeling in the world.
Went down there, went to the counter.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not on the shelves. You guys can put it up the shelves. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, I miss that. Like, I feel so sad for younger people who don't get to have that experience. Obviously, like, this is like old man yells at cloud talk right now. I get that. I'm totally like acting like a boomer right now. But man, that felt good. It felt so good. You just don't even know.
Yeah, and I think the whole this is how I feel about streaming and stuff like that. When it comes to the music, what's worked best for musicians? You buy the album, like the music. And to be honest, don't even stream it. I know people say, well, you should stream it because you get some money. Fuck it, there's so little money. Don't even fucking stream it. Take that power away from from those companies that are paying artists nothing. I don't care about my $5 a month from Spotify. You know what? Buy the album, just listen to the album, download it onto your phone, and fuck the streaming numbers. I mean, obviously, if you just do it to me and DragonForce, we look like fucking losers. You know, no one's listening to us on Spotify. But you know, in some seriousness, is if you buy the album, you're giving the money to the artist. If you're streaming, you're giving the money to the tech company and the cell phone companies who you're paying the data plan for. Yeah. They got enough money, we know that.
My buddy Stevik, he plays in a band called 12 Foot Ninja. He's a proponent for a different type of model for streaming where, so right now, all of the subscriber income goes to this larger pool of artists. It goes to everything rather than your subscription money just goes to the stuff to the artists that you listen to. And so there's maybe one or two companies that are trying that, the user-centric model. I hope that it works and I hope that it gains popularity, because if that's the case, then the money will be distributed way more evenly. And also the royalty rate needs to be bumped up.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but I am.
But
you know, it's just like for art to exist, they have to be constant. You know, I feel bad for musicians now growing up, like trying to, you know, people trying to make it, because it's even harder than there is. You know, the main people. It's just the way it is. People they buy the phone and have a cell phone data, but they're listening to consuming this art, but they're not giving the money to the artists. They're giving it to the phone companies and the
people who didn't like. Basically, we create content. We create the driver to these systems, and we're not being compensated fairly for it. And it's bad. It's unfair. And it's like, look, I will always make music, whether or not I get paid for it or not. But if you're expecting me to release stuff consistently and you want to get into a band, then there has to be some exchange of currency here. And otherwise, I'm just going to have to find a job that actually pays money. Then you get music when you get music, you know. It's the musician and the listeners are getting screwed right now. And there just needs to be something that kind of balances that scale.
Yeah, it won't be coming anytime soon, so I'm not waiting for it.
No, you haven't either. You've been kicking ass on Twitch, so you know, you've done the right thing. You've been very successful at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I won't keep you here for too long either. I know you gotta go driving tomorrow.
Yes, it's a driving day tomorrow.
Yeah, you're gonna get up in the morning, all right?
Yeah,
hit the canyons. Yeah.
You gonna come up there?
I really want to, but I got a tour happening.
You're leaving for tour tomorrow?
I'm leaving on tour in a month.
Oh, so you're practicing, huh?
I gotta practice, I gotta prep, I gotta load up these computers and make sure the video screen works. So I programmed the video screen, I programmed all the whole stuff that's synchronized together on the system. I gotta test them all out again. It's been 2 years, I haven't looked at it. And one of them, the computer got wiped from the fucking support, you know, when I had to fix something. Like to fix a fan on the computer, they've wiped the whole hard drive. So I gotta reload it up. And
well, you have backups.
I had backup. I can't even believe it. I made a backup on the hard drive, and one of the files is corrupted. Since when did you back up something on the hard drive that a file get corrupted? You know, it's unbelievable. I found it now, but I gotta, you know, I have to reinstall the software, make sure all the stuff load out.
Yeah, that's the biggest headache.
Synchronize the audio, the click track, the SIMT code.
Damn, that's a lot of work.
Hey, I know, it's how to say, you can't go on stage now without a production.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. That is something that all the budding musicians out there should take note. Put money into your production. It will be, you have to at this point.
It doesn't, I mean, it's much cheaper now. So we have our own LED screen, like a huge one, you know, the panels. We ship them around to US, back to Europe. So we bring that with us. We basically have an arena production on a club tour. So
that's great.
Giant video game arcade machines. We go on top and do solos and jump off them and shit, dragging, fucking breathing shit, shooting lasers.
Are you playing? You playing in the Northeast?
Yes. Come and see us.
I'm gonna come hang.
New York. I don't know what's New York City.
New York City, yeah. North Jersey, New York City.
Yeah, we'll be playing New York City.
Yeah, I'll be there. But
cool.
Do you know the date off the top of your head, or I'll just go look?
Not on top of my head, but you know, if you want, you're welcome to do this farming simulator.
Oh yeah?
The farming simulator. We have a joke. That game is only popular in Germany. Farming simulator. It's fucking super popular there. We've been doing like a farming simulator section where we like guests come on and we do a battle with the banjo and shit. You know, Sam plays
great.
The banjo.
I love that.
And, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to hang. Being here.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jake, for coming to chat. I hope your hand feels better quickly.
Yeah, me too.
And of course, hey, you guys check out Jake's signature guitar with Ibanez. And you said it, even though you're not supposed to say it, you have a new one coming out.
I do have a new one coming out. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Follow me on social media. Sometimes I post things. Sometimes I'll stream on Instagram when I'm cooking dinner.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so nice to me in the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much.